Good morning, LHS. I'm Kaylee Rodriguez, and this is the Eagle Eye News. The UIL academic teams are going to state. The journalism, computer applications, and computer science teams will be competing in Austin this weekend, followed by the speaking events on May 21st. Afterwards, we will find out if we get to keep our overall state championship title. Good luck, UIL competitors. Keeping over 1,200 students organized and accounted for is not as easy as one may think. Our office staff has a variety of responsibilities such as keeping up with attendance, answering phones, and everything in between.
I'm the attendance clerk at Lindale High School, so I'm in charge of doing all the attendance for the school. Of course, I do things outside of my job. Me and Regina a lot of times will switch. If she's out or if I'm out, we'll do each other's job, but I also am responsible for getting all substitute roles into the system in Skyward. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we do outside whatever needs to be done around the office. We kind of take on each other's jobs. We help each other out.
Most of the experiences that I have are some of the little crazy things that happen here. The first one that comes to my mind is Officer King playing on the hoverboard, standing in front of me, and I look up, and next thing I know, all I see is feet straight up in the air. There are a few little videos of me falling out of my chair, and it's usually all the funny experiences. And of course, I have those special kids that come in and visit with me that I see every day, the ones that like to run late. All those are special experiences.
I have to pick up all the roll sheets for the teachers who are out, take deliveries, like if something needs to be delivered, answer phone calls if Miss Regina or Miss Safety can't get to them, and direct the phone calls to whoever needs to be directed to.
There's a lot of experiences. Some you can't really say anything about because stuff that happens in the office has to stay in the office. But the kids, they're crazy. They crack me up because I have 2 younger kids at home. So getting to deal with older kids, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different experiences. You get to see kids, getting their letter jacket for the first time, and you see them trying on their cap and gown for the first time. It's really a neat experience to get to experience that with them. So,
yes, I love my job. I love the kids, and I love the parents that come in, but mostly the kids. All of them have a special place in my heart.
Theater's one-act play advanced to state, receiving 6th place overall in the competition. Theater students performed and put together the play Anna Karenina. Some students of the production even received various awards at state. Senior Sydney Smith received overall Outstanding Technician. Junior Evan Howell received All-Star Cast Member, and Junior Kaylee Melvin received Honorable Mention Cast Member. This was the first time in 10 years that Lindale has advanced to state with theater. Congratulations to them for all of their hard work. Every little kid is asked the same question over and over again, from the time they can talk to the time they graduate high school. What do you want to be when you grow up? A handful of students were asked about their dreams in the past compared to what their plans are now for the future.
I've learned so much since I was 8, because whenever I was 8, I thought, oh, this would be such a cool thing to go into, but now I've learned that being an astronaut, with all of the things that are going on in today's society and all of the funding cuts and everything, that it really isn't plausible. That's not really the reason why I chose that. It's just a really change in interest. I've changed from having interest in all of the things that are beyond to what is before me now and what is actually plausible for me to actually explore and do.
My spectrum of knowing how many jobs were out there, I definitely realized that I could never be a veterinarian because I'm too emotional when I see animals hurting, so it's I would never be able to do that. So I just think I kind of learned more about myself and what I can do.
Why do you think what you wanted to be had a shift? Why do you think it changed?
I think that I will always have a place in my heart for food and making and creating, but I think that initially whatever God says is what I'll do, but I just think that as I got older, I just grew to love other things.
I still have a lot of time to really figure it out, and this is just what seems like the most logical. I mean, I've always loved history. It's like been something that I've always liked, and I don't know, like it'll probably change. Like my major will probably change in high school, and I'm sure what I wind up being was probably not what I want to be now. But I mean, it's been the longest thing that I've wanted to be.
And then you were talking about how your personality does change, like, or did change. Like, in what ways do you think, like, what caused that change? What do you think influenced that? And, like, in what ways did it change, do you think?
I mean, I think a lot of it was just growing up and then also realizing that, you know, you can't just be like whatever you think would be the coolest. Like you have to think about, you know, how is this gonna like provide for you for the rest of your life? Are you gonna want to keep doing this in like multiple years down the road? I think you just kind of had to be more realistic about it.
On April 14th, Sarah Huseth had a tryout for a music scholarship in Chandler where she won second place. The Young Musician of the Year scholarship was awarded by the Tyler Music Coterie. Her recital will be held on May 5th at the First United Methodist Church in Chandler. We encourage everyone to come and support her. Speaking of band, the Lindale High School Band will be performing a spring concert on May 22nd at 6:30 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center. Since the band is taking a trip to Disney World and Universal Studios this summer, they are performing Disney-themed songs. Come support their band in the final concert of the season. Hanging out with friends, playing sports, and going to school are just a couple of things a typical teenager does on a regular basis. For junior Caroline Colliver, however, life isn't as typical. Although she looks and acts like everyone else, many people would not assume that she's battling a chronic illness.
Crohn's disease is basically, it's a digestive disease where your immune system fights against itself. But my disease that I have, it's called, my gastroenterologist refers to it as a penetrating disease where I get fistulas. Fistulas are basically a canal that goes in, goes either from one intestine to another or it's just a canal, like it doesn't have to connect to an intestine. And what it does is it gets infected, and that's what causes a flare. What happens is I can barely walk because of the pain, and my last flare, actually all of them, I can only lay on one side of my hip. I'm more tired than a lot of people. I can't go all the time. I have to take a couple of days and let my body rest and recover more times than the average person because I take immune suppressants every day and give myself a shot every week. So altogether my immune system is just a lot lower than everyone else's, and I just have less of an energy level.
That's probably the biggest thing that hurts my heart as a parent for her is that all the times that she has to miss. I mean, you just don't know how many camping trips, birthday parties, evenings out with friends, tennis tournaments, that she has missed. And she's had to stay back when everybody else got to go.
I did flare a lot last year and I missed a lot of school. And I missed probably over half my spring season of tennis. And that really took a toll for me on my mental health and my physical as well because, the body doesn't heal well when it's not, when you're not in a happy state of mind. When people have chronic illnesses, they don't go away. They last forever. And you don't look sick, but that person is sick, I promise you. The worst things to say to some people with a chronic illness is, oh, you're fine, you're going to get better tomorrow. Or, you can get through this, or everything's going to be all right. All of those cliche remarks that they say, it gets old. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to anyone, but it gets a little old, hearing that over and over again because it gets really repetitive, and it's like, is it really?
Lindale is hosting its third annual art exhibit on May 8th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center. The awards ceremony will be held at 6. An additional showing will be held on May 9th from 8 a.m. to 3:20 that afternoon. Grades 4th through 12th will be showing their artwork with 15 pieces submitted per grade. The art exhibit is sponsored by the Helen S. Boylan Foundation and the 4th through 12th grade teachers. Come join the Lindale community in observing these small-town Picassos. Turning 16 comes with many milestones. One of those milestones is obtaining a driver's license. However, it isn't as easy as you may think to get a driver's license.
I would say drive a lot. I mean, don't put it off. Drive with your parents. Students won't feel so apprehensive or nervous about driving if you've already been driving with an adult.
I had to have at least 30 hours for my license, and then I had to have certain hours on the freeways and in the dark and in the rain.
I had to read all these big modules with papers. I was super nervous all the time. I was getting my permit, and I had it in the first place I actually drove with my permit was in the high school parking lot with my sisters and my mom, and I was going 10 miles an hour, and I would not go over that because it was scaring me so bad.
Moving on to sports, the baseball and softball teams began state playoffs after stepping up to the plate. The Lady Eagles won their first round after beating A&M Consolidated with scores of 7-5 and 5-2 out of the series. They kept the crowd on the edges of their seats with double plays and aggressive base running throughout both nights. With their win, the Lady Eagles advanced to regionals and will play Tomball Memorial. Baseball found their pitch in playoffs after placing second in district. They were victorious against White House with a final score of 7-2. Baseball will face off against Bryan Rudder for their first round of playoffs. Also in sports, sophomore Noah Daughtry took part in a 150-mile bike ride from Houston to Austin on April 28th and 29th. He left on the 27th with his father and a friend, Carson Rice, in pursuit of raising awareness for sclerosis. In order to ride, Daughtry raised over $700 for multiple sclerosis patients. Having a dream and making your dream a reality are two very different things. Through a lot of practice, performing, and perseverance, Junior Simon Young has been pursuing his dream of becoming a musician for almost 4 years.
I started writing music when I was about 10 years old. Really got into acoustic stuff whenever my dad, through the stuff that my dad kind of had inspired me to listen to acoustically, and I just really wanted to be able to learn how to paint the mental image that they could. The band actually got started whenever somebody that I have actually worked with went and referred me to them because they were looking for a vocalist, and so they messaged me and asked me for some videos of me singing, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything real was going to come from it. They met up with me, got to meet them and jam out with them for a little while, and after that things just kind of took off from there. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this for. You will always face challenges. You will always find those certain moments, always find those little time periods where nothing is going as it should, and you're not being able to come up with anything creativity-wise. You're not able to find anything and really dig deep in. And then whenever you finally find that emotion, that's whenever everything comes out. But writer's block definitely is a true statement. It's a very true thing. It can get kind of tough, especially whenever you have obstacles, like whenever you're my age and it's still in school. At one point I had to take off 6 months from music, and it's really hard. There's a lot of obstacles when it comes to being a young performer.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the Eagle Eye online for more content. This is Kaylee Rodriguez signing off.